Hello, resin kit collectors. So it's going to be a long video probably because these things have a lot of detail, but I'm not going to talk about the car. I've talked about it so many times in my other reviews. This one is by MY64, which so far has not let me down. Let's see if they do a good job. Turns out this Rosa Corsa is a color of red by the Ferrari brand. I don't know what 06A means. Maybe that's their 6 casting and the letter A is their color choice. It's a pretty rigid box. And then this folds down and that looks really ugly, so I feel like it's unnecessary. Who's gonna display their thing in a box, right? So that was probably like a $5 box I just bought for no reason. Alright, so let's open this. Looking up these images, I saw an article asking, is this the most iconic Ferrari of all time? What do you guys think? I would say no. For me, being as old as I am, I think of the Magnum PI Ferrari. I think that was a 308 and maybe or perhaps a 328. And for me, that's a classic Ferrari. But the F40 is the Ferrari that, when I was young, made me decide that, wow, those cars are cool. Ferrari. But now I hate Ferrari because they sue their customers. So, they sue their customers. It's just silly. There must be tape or not. No, there's no tape on this, so I don't see any. That's some crazy. No, there's no tape, so be mindful of that. Now I'm going to take this off the base. There's no reason to. There's probably nothing on the bottom, and I don't display my cars upside down. So just some random photos here from a couple different sources. I've seen this car in real life. I forget, maybe an auto show. Maybe I've seen it a few times. And it does look like a race car. There's a certain crudeness about it. You don't see it in these photos, but it's the lack of like sound insulation and just exposed inner panels and stuff. You don't see that all too often. I don't know when that had occurred, but that's a lot of money rolling on that road right there. Alright, MY64, you got this nice photo etched piece, and they actually photo etched this part and that part, so it's like a split F40, which is nice. Apparently this is modeled after the 1990 year, and there's around 800 of this particular color. There's no indication of who made this though, so I don't think any of this is licensed. It's an acrylic base. You can see the acrylic glue. There's 2 screws holding that thing on, but again, I'm not going to touch that thing. And it's nice that it doesn't have any weird leather or weird sticker that's going to fall off, right? This plastic will be good for the next 400 years. Maybe not the model, but the base will be. Alright. I'll gravitate towards the wheels, and yes, nice photo etched wheels there. This roughness here is the etched away part. And then the perimeters are highly reflective chrome surface with etched away bolt details. It's a multi-piece wheel. And then you'll see the big hexagon in the middle for the knockoff. And then back there you can see some cross drilling of the brake rotor and some weird shape there, so I have to assume that's where the brake caliper is, or like right around there. I'm trying to get an idea how deep it is. Oh, there you go. Maybe you get an idea how far back that brake is. And it is back there, right? So you can see now it's pretty far inset. Seems pretty realistic. You can see the tire curvature as well. It's not just a slab-sided tire. It's got a little bit of a curvature to it, so that's nice. While we're here, there's a little glued-on clear bump here. That's probably like a reflector or a marker. You can see the black paint here and this bisecting channel throughout the whole body. Looks pretty nice. This must be a separate piece, I'm gonna guess. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like there might be a recess and it's stuck in there, but it's just black. It's not well, actually it is black on the photograph, so I guess that's realistic. You got the Ferrari crest. The horse is upright. You can I think even see the SF there or well, it's 2 letters of some nature. So that's good. Look at this paint. Look how smooth it is. Look at the reflection in it. It's very impressive. This is like 4 times magnification, so yeah, that black line is good. There's no overrun. It's even way in there as well. Where's my pick? And check this out. I'm now noticing this vent is actually real. Oh, there's a piece in there. So, wow. Hold on. Let me get the flashlight. Is the bottom open air? That would have been cool, but no. I was thinking the top is an insert and the rest is just open air, but anyways, you got a little vent detail there on something so thin. This is the tip of a toothpick, by the way. You have the reflective sticker in this mirror, which is a separate piece, and then you have the vents here, and again there's some black, and this must be a separate piece. It's got like a texture to it, same in there. It's not paint, it's literally a separate piece, and that's why you have a good separation of the colors there. Up top there's a little molded in door handle and fuel filler door there. There's a little photo etch piece here where the Pininfarina would be. Oh, I thought it was just a blank rectangle, but it might actually have etching. I can't make it out though, but it looks like there's some sort of text there. Alright, look at the rear wheel and my ugly fingernail. Yeah, that rear wheel looks pretty good. Brake caliper is towards the door. Nice tire, nice ballooned out tire. This thing is slammed to the ground, even more so than the photographs. Yeah, it's a lowered ride. Alright, so the F40 is molded into the wing there, and then you have those vents, but those vents have no indication of black. Okay. Let's go around to the front. Well, let's finish out the side windows. So you can see the clearness. I don't know if my camera can pick up on what's going on back there. There you can. So that's how clear these windows are on the resins. It's one of the highlights of buying these resin models. You can look right into the interior as if it was a real car. Yeah, with molded windows, there's a lot of distortion. Alright, let's focus on the front. Really nice texture here in this opening and those openings. Again, they're separate pieces. They sound like they're plastic. The black here is nicely done. The Ferrari badge is in the proper orientation. And check this out. It might be under, I think it's under the clear coat. Look, there's no weird reflection, right? There it is. So I'm pretty sure this is under the clear coat. And that is awesome. That's really what every resin brand should be doing. It's really difficult, I realize this, because I've made some models in my time. But it's a whole second paint process, right? You gotta paint it red, put all the decals on, then paint the thing again with clear coat, and hope you don't mess up. So, yeah, MY64, doing it right. Nice to see. I don't even recall seeing these strips on the cover of a F40. I can't really say I see them on that photograph either. I have no reason to believe that they're not there, but maybe it's like defroster lines, you can barely tell that they're on a real car. So I feel like they're unnecessary. I would have been perfectly happy without these yellow lines there because they're so wide. It's kind of hard to actually see the headlights back there, which I think are on etched pieces of metal. That silver line I think is metal, and then, well, maybe they're molded pieces of plastic, because that looks like no, it does look like it's etched, but they etched away, so it looks like 5 round shapes. I can't even tell what's going on there, but I assume that's an orange turn signal. Yeah, these yellow lines were totally unnecessary. Alright, NACA ducts, but oddly, no black there. That's where I would expect them to have black pieces. Strange. I would rather see them here than in the doors. That little sliver there. Or really, I should see them everywhere on a model this expensive. Alright, so the packaging plastic for the windscreen is good. It's actually curved, you know, and look at the wiper blade. It's actually bent and perpendicular to the windscreen right there. Very cool. So this side here, hopefully there's no major problems. There's a divot in my tire. That's not great. At least that's upright and vertical. This mirror seems odd. Like, why is it pointed so far down? In fact, let's look at the other mirror. That also is pointed very down. And look at the side photograph. Yeah, this should be more vertical. This edge should just be vertical, like normal car mirrors. So it's nice that they're equal, but it's odd. It's odd, you know, having it pointed down. All right, I wonder if the Pininfarina badge on this side is legible. No, it's not. It's not. All right, those vents there, the vents there look okay. The rear, so the Ferrari is nice and flat. It's not bent. I've seen a bent one on my DMH. The exhausts are very nice. They have some depth to the middle of them. I think that's molded plastic just based on the thickness. And then look at this really cool photo etch piece with the red resin or something, or paint on top of it. And I think that might be a silver one below it. So I think it's a reflector and the backups. Now these taillights though, there's a little something in the middle of the outside ones. I think that must be a foil sticker or possibly a photo etched piece of metal. This one is orange and this one is red. I'm pretty sure that's accurate. I'm looking at the photographs. I will say the photographs of these lamps are squared off more. They're not rounded like this. They're more like flat instead of rounded. So it's interesting. Maybe it has to do with them pouring resin or something, but it would have been nicer if those were flatter. Or maybe in 1990 they had rounded taillights. I don't know. Okay, look at that. This whole metal screen is passing air. You can see the engine through those vents like the real car. And then there's a little spot for a license plate. Down here there's some venting, no paint. A little bump there for some reason, I don't know. I assume it's real because it's there, but it's not there. Unless that's a paint run. I don't know. At least it's on the bottom. There's some venting under the wing here. No black paint though. Oh, but up here in these NACA ducts, they do have the inserted pieces of black. Top of the wing, pretty smooth again. Alright, so now we got the engine. Now this has to be a molded piece, right? But it's pretty clear. I mean, it looks clear to me. I don't know if this is vacuum formed or what. See, it's so soft, I'm bending it. I bet this might be a piece of vacuum formed plastic, not necessarily molded plastic. Molded plastic needs to be a certain thickness to come out of the mold and keep its shape. But vacuum forming can be very thin. It's the same stuff as like packaging food and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. Naturally, you're not going to have the vents because that would require a second process and you probably tear this all up because it's so thin. But it's nice. It's cool. It's a new technology I've never seen in 164. And it's clear enough that you can see, you know, the engine pretty well. It looks like there's a red Ferrari right there in the middle. The intercoolers look pretty good. The shock strut towers, I think that's a photo etched piece, painted black. There's a cross brace, very thin. I don't know what that would be. These are probably air filter boxes. A cover for the differential or something. Or maybe the transmission's back here, I'm not sure. And then, no, alright, just a bunch of other stuff. So what's cool is really you can see a lot of that through the venting, and that you can do on the real car. Neat. Last bit would be the interior. No flashlight really necessary usually. Well, it's a black interior, but you can see the shifter gate there is silver, a really thin shifter, and then a black knob on top of it. Very good. There's looks like a carbon fiber pattern on the floorboards. Alright. And then you have a prancing horse on the steering wheel. You have black carbon seat backs, it looks like. See, it's probably a decal. But then there's a red harness starting from the back coming through that seat, and then the seat is red, but then you can see the seatbelt harness there, and it's got photo etched buckle sliders right there. Maybe on the other side. Yeah, and then a photo etched lock for all the 4 belts to mate into. So that's pretty cool. Very cool. You'll notice the dashboard has a nice matte finish to it. I don't know if it's just paint or it's got like one of those weird like fiber like finishes, but it looks very matte. If I had to guess, the real car probably has like an Alcantara lining to reduce reflections from the sun. And then there's 2 vents there on the middle. This thing has paddle shifters. Or wait, are those just turn signals? No, they're not paddle shifters. It's too early for paddle shifting. So those must just be the turn signal and wiper blade stocks. Yeah, because I mean we already looked at the shifter first. Alright, yeah, definitely a carbon graphic on the floor, but then the central column, again, where the shifter is like a really matte finish. And then you can actually see a red and yellow dot coming through there. Let's, 3 gauges there, glove box. Alright, let's try the other window. Yeah, there's instruments in the binnacle there. Can't zoom in any further though. Let's see if I can hit focus again. This thing is getting close to the camera. Hold on. I have a really steady hand to do this. Wow, yeah, orange needles. Wow, you know that turn signal or wiper blade column is actually like rounded. It's not just flat. There's a rear view mirror, of course. I'm gonna have to assume that's very reflective. Possibly it's painted. Maybe it's painted. Whoa, look at the top of the windshield. It actually has that pixelation, you know, instead of just a flat black bar. It's actually like pixelated, like a lot of windscreens have. The roof is even painted black, so that's nice. And it looks like it's got 2 sun visors hanging down. This roll cage is super thin. It actually looks thinner than it should be. Yeah. Or is that a window separator? That might be a frame for a window, if I had to guess, actually. Because you can't just have the noise of an engine. I don't know. I don't know if you can... I don't know if there's a separate piece of plastic inside there. Right there, I kind of feel like I can see the edge of it. But these things are so clear, I can't even tell if there's 2 windows there. Yeah, there's that seatbelt again, looking pretty sweet. Yeah, look at the blackout of the windshield. I'm not sure if I've ever seen this on another 164 model, this pixelation. So that would be a first, I think. I didn't even talk about it, but the window itself, it has a raised molded piece around. So I think this is a sheet of plastic and they printed the black on the backside and then they painted a piece of metal and glued that to the outside. So that's going on here in the windscreen and also on the side windows. I can feel that break right, well, that ledge. So it's really impressive. I guess that's it for the interior, right? I wonder what the yellow and red button are. Starter switch, and emergency power off. The little glove box is a different black. Very impressive. Very impressive. I'm just looking at the alignment of the mirrors, and they're pretty well aligned. Although actually a real car, they're not aligned because your head is here, right? And so that might actually be realistic, that this one is sticking out more there and that one is canted in more, or is it the other way around? I don't want to think that through right now. Let us look at a few other Ferraris. Uh-oh, the cable is loose. Uh-oh. So a few other F40s. Here's the Kyosho F40 Competizione from 1989. Here's a F40 GTE. Now this is one of the rare Kyosho's where I think it might not be in scale. It looks too big. Like the wheelbase is literally longer. Let me give you a top-down view. Unless they elongated that nose a considerable amount, which they may have, I'm not sure. It's hard to say, And there's no greater pastime for me than to rag on TLV and how overpriced and under-detailed they are for their price. And so that is this. The main issue I have with this TLV is the fact that it has giant mailbox openings in the roof because they're trying to have this whole opening panel stuff. The front one's not so bad because the design of it itself is a natural seam break. But having holes this huge in the roof of something just doesn't look good. I mean, you could literally put mail in there. You could send parcel post through that thing. Alright. Also, what's up with the knobbies? What's up with these rally tires? The knobbies on this thing? What's up with the lack of even black paint in this giant side vent? So if you look at their Ferraris, they don't have any paint in their side vents, and that stuff like much cheaper models do. I mean, this one is probably around the same price, and it literally has inserted pieces. Alright, so yeah, let's see if paint rash is developed. Yeah, there's paint rash developing as well because this brand doesn't know how to paint anything. So they're just not good. All TLVs should cost $10 to $15 in my opinion. Definitely not the price of this. It's just ridiculous, really. The only nice thing about this is it doesn't have those yellow lines across those headlight covers. So it was bound to happen. It was bound that someone in the resin, world was going to make a nice model of this iconic vehicle. And I'm really glad that it was MY64 because I didn't notice any QC problems, really. I mean, the only thing I guess I could really nitpick on is the mirrors might be angled too far down, but they look pretty good. It's just the main thing is this poor design choice of having those yellow lines, I think. Those are totally unnecessary. Possibly the roundedness of those tail lamps. Possibly. Okay, but anyways, I'm really happy with the brand MY64. I hope you continue to make other castings because you definitely have my support. I recommend these guys. If you really love F40s and you want the best, this is it. As far as a 1/64 scale model goes. And in particular, if you like a red one, you better get on this thing as fast as you can because there's only 800 of these. But if there are other red colors put out by Ferrari, I'm sure eventually they'll put out a slightly different shade of red. But this is I guess maybe the most popular one. I don't know. I don't really follow Ferrari culture. So thank you for watching as usual. I'm really happy to have this, and I guess I'll see you in the next resin model review. Ciao.